I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Ow! Ow!
Who's doing the intro today? Me?
You
Me?
got it. It's all
Me?
you.
Two Owls, One Pod. We're a spinoff from the web series, The Two Dicks, 1950s detectives that are total assholes. You'll get a kick out of it. It's on YouTube. Then we became the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast because of the lockdown a few years ago. That's 5 years ago now, by the way. And they're still talking about the plagues from 100 years ago, so relax. And now we're the Two Owls, One Pod podcast because we got kicked off of 4 different platforms for having the word dicks in our title, which means detective. Makes no sense. I'm Al Ducharme. I'm in my cabin. That's Al Romas, totally relaxed. He's not on his fancy microphone. He's on the shitty one because he forgot his wire. She's on a wire. There's no such thing as Santa Claus, and she's on a wire. Teddy Bergeron. Talking about he's at the Teddy Bergeron, comedian out of Boston. The late Teddy Bergeron.
Oh yeah.
He was talking about being at the Broadway show of seeing Peter Pan and a guy in the back yelling, "She's on a wire. She's on a wire. She's not flying."
I've heard that joke done by other people.
Sure, probably whoever. Yeah.
Well, there was a guy who did it on TV a lot where he said, you know, you're too old to go to a Pink Floyd concert when you see the pig floating and you go, I can clearly see the wire. Same joke stolen from
Louis C.K. used to do that. He's watching The Wizard of Oz as a kid with his dad. And his dad's like, it's all fake.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as flying monkeys. And he'd walk out of the room and the kids were like,
Yeah, it's been, I don't know who came up with it. Maybe Teddy B. Maybe it was his joke. He was around, that was the 70s probably.
Yeah, and he died in his early 70s or late 60s.
Didn't he have a famous story about doing the Tonight Show and then killing and then going out and getting drunk and he got a DUI and he called NBC. He called the Tonight Show to bail him out.
Yep.
And that was the end of Teddy B on the Tonight Show.
Yep.
That's the story. I don't know if any of that's true, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of the stories about Teddy, and he was pretty resilient. He'd big time alcoholic, but he'd get it together, and then he'd be okay for a few months, and then he just would fall off the wagon constantly. But he'd get up on that stage and murder, man. He would just murder.
Yeah, he was one of those Boston legends. I never met him, but would hear stories constantly. And what ship is it? What are you on? I didn't hear. Did you mention it?
I didn't. I think you asked me before we started. I'm on the Explorer of the Seas. That's Royal Caribbean's Explorer of the Seas. I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm filling in for another comedian. I don't know the circumstances, but AIDS probably. I was on another Royal Caribbean ship, the Enchantment, and I got off in Cape Canaveral, or Port Canaveral, actually, and I was going to fly out of Orlando, which is about 45 minutes away from the ship. And then I got the email, ASAP, can you fly to Grand Turk or Cayman Islands, wherever?
Yeah.
And jump on a ship. It's a shorty. And it ended up, being 5 days, not 3 or 4.
Funny how that happens.
And I'm going to be boarding a plane at kickoff of the Super Bowl. Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs.
I'd like to see the Eagles win.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was betting on it, and I'm not, I would bet on the Chiefs because
you'd bet on the referees.
Yeah, I mean, you can't bet against Mahomes at this point.
And Taylor Swift
in his career. So, I'd go Chiefs. I don't even know what the line is. I haven't looked. I don't really care that much about it, to be honest.
I have much less interest in it. And to be honest with you, the Chiefs have been getting a lot of shit, and some of it worthy of criticism. But I'm a Patriot. I've been a Patriots fan my whole life, and the whole deflate and all that, and
You've got a
uh,
lot on your plate just
double
as being a Patriot fan.
double clutch
You got a
snowstorm.
lot. You got a
So
lot going on there. Yeah. You guys have nothing to say. You have nothing to say.
9/11 and the Patriots win.
No.
But Tom
You're
Brady stands out from all of that because he
right.
truly is the GOAT. You can't deny. And he's got 7 Super Bowl rings, and he's been there 9 times.
Right.
And even if some funny business was going on at some point,
Right.
it's the odds are he's a super talent. And
Right. No one's arguing that. But Mahomes is coming up fast.
yeah, no, Mahomes is he's a super talent.
He's
You got
20 something.
you can have very good quarterbacks throughout the
Yes,
league.
sir.
It comes and goes every year, but to have the greats doesn't
Yeah.
happen that often. And when it does
No
happen,
kidding.
you got to be. It's like the Michael Jordans. You got to be a
And
fan if you're
today,
not a fan.
speaking of that, today, Eli Manning did not make the
Yep.
short
And
list of the Hall of Fame.
how is that even possible?
What are you doing? Are you serious? I mean, okay, his stats regular season, they're good. They're not Hall of Fame, but when you go to 2 Super Bowls,
Two different
MVP,
teams.
beat the Patriots who are undefeated, and did all those to get there, all those wins in the playoffs on the road, beating
Wow.
great quarterbacks on the road, Green
Crazy.
Bay, San Francisco.
It's a slap in the
Ridiculous.
face. So
It's it's
who was the journalist or reporter, whoever didn't vote him in?
I guess a few of them because he didn't make the short list. So and then you got to wait another year, and then next year is like Philip Rivers and there's a bunch of guys. He may not get in next year.
Are they
He could
kicking it
end up
down the road
falling.
to get more viewership, to get
Yeah, he's
more?
gonna. He didn't campaign at all. He said he wasn't going to, but I think next year he's gonna have to. Gonna have to really press it and get out there and promote his numbers. He's a humble guy. He doesn't talk about it a lot, but gonna have
They
to
gave
because
they gave him a
he
lot
should
of
be.
shit about all the advertisements or the ads he was doing. He made more money, obviously, doing
Sure.
pitching stuff, but he was very good at it, and
And
he
it's
still put the
funny.
numbers up when he got on the field.
Yeah, and it's funny when he was a player, he didn't say 2 words. He
Yeah.
never said a word in 13 years. And then now you can't shut him up. He's on every podcast. He's on everything.
Him and his brother,
But
they're
yeah,
hysterical.
he's great. He's great. So you have a show tonight? Is that what you late
Uh,
night adult comedy?
Yeah, last night I had 2 family welcome aboard shows. Had to do 25. I did a half. I was having fun. When you get a good
Yeah.
crowd on a opening night of a cruise ship,
Mhm.
it's for me it doesn't happen that often. They
Right.
travel
Yeah.
weary and dreary. When you
Yeah.
get them with energy and they're fucking laughing at your jokes right out of the
Yeah.
gate, you're like, oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
It's
I don't like having the 2 45-minute shows on Welcome Aboard. That is evil.
pointless. Pointless. Nobody wants that. They're tired. Nobody, the welcome aboard is 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That's it.
25 was a lot, to be honest with you.
It's a lot for that night and all the kids and the adults and the travel and it's a
Mhm.
lot going on. 20 minutes is perfect. One show. Sometimes you're trying to
One
milk it
show.
with
Yeah, this is
two.
we got a little over 4,000 passengers, so they did 2 because our buddy Ken Rush, who used to be a cruise director, now he works in the main office and he's in charge of a lot of this stuff. He says you got to do 2 welcome aboard and 1 farewell, or vice versa.
Right.
1 welcome aboard and 2 farewell. That's his thing, his
Yeah.
formula. I don't question it. The guy's got 30 plus years. He's successful. I
40.
just, as a
Just celebrated
performer,
40.
yeah, 40. He knows what he's doing, but from a performer standpoint, as a stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
it sucks.
No, I get it. I get it, man. I've done, well, it's 2 weeks of 13. So 13, I've done 25 shows so far in 2 weeks. And last night, there's this couple in the front row, this Indian couple. And I'm looking at them like, you've been here before. So I said to the guys in the front row, oh, you've been here before. And he smiles. And then I go, right, you've been here before, right? And he smiles. And I go to the wife, you've been here before? And she smiles. They don't speak English. 2 nights in a row. What what are they doing? What is the thinking there? We don't understand a word. We want to
Well,
go
they
back
they
again.
may understand the gist of it, and they're excited just to have someone performing, and they're
Performing.
appreciating it. No, I like the Indian culture with that respect. There's a lot of respect.
Respect is fine, but if you don't understand it, what are you
No,
doing in
I
there the
get it.
second night?
I had
And you're in the
something
front
similar.
row.
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to
was in
look
the
in your
theater.
face.
You play the smaller venues. I was in the theater.
Play the smaller venues. How dare you?
And I had the same thing. Even last night, during the welcome aboard, they came in late, and there were 6 of them. I do my opening joke if there's a section of empty seats right up in the front. I go, I have 6 family members traveling with me on this cruise. I reserved this front row for them right here. They're very supportive of the casino. Gets a chuckle. And then they came in. They came in. I
Oh,
go, here they come. Here they come now. Clearly, they're
right.
from, I don't know where they're from.
Pakistan.
Some Latino country, and
Yeah.
I already saw them on the ship somewhere. So they're speaking full native language of whatever region they're from of Spanish.
Do you mock them
And
when they come in? Do you mock them?
I said, here comes my family now. And
Oh,
clearly, I'm, Caucasian, white, pale, cracker face,
clearly.
and they are.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
By the
see.
way, if I turn
That's the
this light
joke.
off,
That's the joke.
yeah, and
Turn
they're
the light back on.
they live closer
There.
to the equator, and they have the beautiful brown skin. So that
Oh,
that was the initial joke.
so then people in the audience go, he said it's his family, but these weird looking people are coming in. That's not his family. That's the joke.
Yeah, and then I said, hey guys, I know your family. I go, it's $10 cover. Give me 5. And one woman, she opened up her purse. It was very funny,
Oh,
but she was just pretending. It was
yeah.
funny, right on cue.
Well,
So.
there you go. Can't beat it. That's why you're in the big rooms. Bits like that will keep you in the theater, for God's sake.
Well, what's great
that's a
about
killer.
that. It's spontaneity. It's happening. They're not settled in yet. There's people still moving around, so it's
Right.
it's like a little time killer for
I
90
I get it.
seconds.
I get it,
It's a
man.
technique that comedians use. You should look into it for
I don't
tricks.
I don't know these techniques.
Yeah,
I don't work the big room. That's the problem.
yeah,
In the
that's the
small rooms,
problem.
you don't need techniques. You do a few
No,
minutes and you get out
no.
of there.
What are you
But
doing? 12
tonight,
minutes? 12 minutes?
15, sir, 15.
Oh
Um,
wow, you got an extra 3 minutes you put together. That's great.
yeah, yeah, I'm working on it. I'm writing. I'm doing a lot of writing. Hey, what do you think of these comics friends of ours on Facebook who are they're on a cruise and they'll pose with a camera to show the theater full, and they'll pose, and then this one
Sold
guy
out.
I saw recently I wrote it down, even sold out concert.
What?
Sold out
If he
concert.
were joking or followed up with a
He was not joking.
no, where's the ego go?
What
Are
are
they
you
just
doing
saying
though? You didn't
are they
sell one ticket.
delusional, or are they just trying to do that to audience that won't know the difference and
I
doesn't
think it's
care what
both.
other
There's a little delusion in it because a lot of guys do it. And it's like you're on a ship. You didn't sell any tickets. You're just the guy that week. So it's that delusion, but then it's also like for people to show them, like, hey, I work theaters,
yeah, and
that kind of
there's
thing.
other people that do video. Hey, I'm gonna do a video. You guys go nuts, and they go,
Yeah. Oh,
and they and then there's
yeah.
the other one. It's like, hey, everybody, let's stand up for our troops that are serving, the men and women. Let's give them a round of, let's give them a standing ovation. And then
Yeah.
they put their video on and they go, thank you. And they go, and they post another standing ovation. It's
Right.
so fucking
It's
sleazy.
horrible. It's horrible. And it's too much of it. It's all ship guys that I'm saying. They're all doing this now, where they walk out with the camera on, so the crowd's applauding. They look at this crowd tonight. Oh my! And it's like it's just a crowd. It'll be the same next week when there's a different guy there. You didn't do it. It's not based on you. What do you know what I mean? That rubs me. I'm like, oh, I can't take it.
I want to do a character, Bobby BS. Bobby BS here. We got a sold out crowd. It's unbelievable. It's just place packed. My entire tour is completely sold out.
My tour.
It's like they have 15 cruise dates and they're calling it a tour.
A tour. And did you ever hear Tim Wilson used to do a bit, Uncle BS? And
see. No, I've never seen it. I just thought I came up with Bobby BS.
Well, it was basically Uncle BS, where were you? And then he'll name a date in history. And Uncle BS was always there, and he describes it. It'll be like whatever, the Kennedy assassination, and it'll be like whatever, November 7th, 1961.
We were in Texas.
I was in a book depository. There was a young man there, and that kind of thing. It's great. It's great. But he would come to Tampa, and I would go see him because I was a big fan, and I got to know him. And then on his late show, which was always hard in Side Splitters in Tampa, and rowdy Friday night late crowd, and I'd come in and I'd start yelling from the back, Uncle BS. I wanted to hear Uncle BS. And he'd be like on stage, Al, that will not work with this crowd. And I go, Uncle BS. And then he would do one and it would bomb. But it was it's so brilliant. Anyone listening, go Tim Wilson, Uncle BS. Just put that in YouTube for a nice chuckle. We lost Tim a few years ago. He was a classic. If you ever saw what's the Jeff Bridges movie where he's a country singer on the road, and I think he won an Oscar. Yeah, where he's like a drunken country singer. He's like in motels.
Robert Duvall did one too, where he won.
I can't remember. But those two movies. Bridges looks and sounds like Tim. It's almost like you could that's the Tim Wilson story if it wasn't a singer, if he was a comedian. It's the same. He looks like him. It's very similar. But he was one of the greats, and most people don't even know him.
Yep. Well, I'll have to check that out. Check that out on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. I will
Tim Wilson.
Go down that rabbit hole as well. Hey, back to the ships. You're back on the Icon. Is it still considered the flagship, even though the Utopia came out? Is the Utopia Oasis class, or is it Icon class?
Oasis class.
So do you still get the moniker of being the flagship?
Yeah, until Star comes out in
July.
August. I think July, August. But we're still here. In fact,
what deck are you on now?
Deck 3. And we had our night off Tuesday night, and we were able to get a couple of comps for the Empire Social Club, which is a little venue. It's unique to Icon.
$200 a head.
Yeah, and it seats about 40 people. That's it. 630 seating. There's a little jazz band that plays along with it. That's very like an old speakeasy in New York in the 30s. And it's about a 3-hour dinner from start to finish.
5 course, 7 course? What is it?
8 courses.
Woo!
And 8 drinks paired with each course.
Oh, so they're little wines. Little wines.
They're not little. As you can see, I'll give you a couple pictures here.
Oh, if you're on the Patreon, you get to see this. And if you're not on the Patreon, you should. $5 a month. You get to see pictures of expensive drinks that were comped.
These are expensive drinks, and it was fantastic. It's one of those.
The whole thing was comped? The HD for you, the hotel director?
Yeah, hotel director hooked us up.
How does Kelly feel about you dating men? You got an open relationship?
She seems okay with it. She understands. She gets it.
Hey, $200 meal. Come on.
Yeah, man. I can't. I can't turn that down. And it was great. It was really great. I would recommend doing it. If you got to pay the $400, it's an experience you're never going to have on a ship. It's really unique. I've done Wonderland and I've done some other ones on other ships, and this is by far the best. But it's funny how it's just all small, and I didn't realize everything was going to be small. So you get like these four appetizers, like, oh, it's oysters Rockefeller. It's like one oysters Rockefeller, very fancy version of one. But then they go, they have the Wagyu ribeye as the entree. So I go with the Wagyu ribeye.
Yes, you do.
And then it's a plate, and it's like 6 little pieces of ribeye. Little.
Oh, it's the ones they throw out from the steakhouse.
It's a little it's better. It's great. It's delicious. But you want.
It's a comedy podcast.
You want more, and you don't get more. But anyway, they keep coming with more food. 8 drinks. You start with champagne too, and that's as much as you want. They just keep pouring it as they walk by. So we finish that. It's 3 hours. So now we're at 9:30, pretty hammered. Just walking out of there, and we go past Chops, the steakhouse in Central Park, and the hotel director and a couple other officers are there and like waving. So we're like, oh, okay, they got us in. Let's go say hello. And then they put wine on the bar, and we just start. They're just dirty drinking, and we got wine glasses, and we're just drinking and talking. And you can't just get up and leave even though we're hammered. So we just keep drinking with them. I don't know how long that went on. Maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe a half hour. Who knows? But that took me over into midnight. Now I've been drinking since 6:30. And my alarm goes off Wednesday because I got to meet Kelly's cousin and her husband, Lisa and Lyndon. Mexico. Patreon members, shout out.
Shout out.
And they picked me up in Cozumel for lunch. We always have lunch and drinks. But as I was walking in the Cozumel heat to meet them, I'm like, oh my God, I am not.
You're foggy, boy.
I'm exhausted. I can't
You're
drink.
like Jack the Ripper coming out of the fog.
Yeah, I can't. Exactly. I was looking for a hooker to kill. I just walked to the car, and then I was like, hey, guys. And then I got a beer. I got a Dos Equis and just sort of nursed it. But then that went down. Once the first one went down.
Hair of the dog.
Yeah, a little bit. I got another one. That one I nursed for. So I basically had like 2, maybe 3 in, 4 hours, 3.5 hours. So it was pretty good. But then did the 2 shows that night. And then I hit the rack about 10:30, and that was that because I got crushed.
Can I do an impression of you?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't drink when I'm on the ships. I only drink when I'm home.
Right. Yeah. But I don't pay for drinks. That should be amended.
Oh, okay. Let's amend that right now.
Yeah. If you have,
I don't pay for drinks. But
right.
If someone offers me a freebie, okay, I got you.
Exactly.
No, wise decision.
Like I don't smoke pot, but if you have a doobie and you're walking past and go, "Hey, you want one?" I'll take a hit. I'm not buying it. That's the kind of thing I am. And on the ships, oh, look at Alfred's got a bottle of is that Cab? I can't really see it from here. Nice Cabernet.
Now let me just tell you.
Did you buy that, or was that a gift?
That was a purchase. I went to the crew bar. $14 plus gratuity.
Ooh,
$15.50.
That bottle's $9 at Publix.
No. Then there's the slop chest, which is the cruise store, 30 feet away. $11. Same thing.
Right. Well,
but if you go through the bar.
Oh, the bar is 14 and cruise slop chest 11. Wow.
Yeah. For the same bottle of wine. So,
did they charge you for a bag?
They did, but I needed a laundry bag, so it was 50 cents.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's amazing.
Canvas thing. They used
to
give
buy a bag.
Yeah, he goes, "Do you want a bag?" And I was buying water and other stuff. And I'm like, "Yeah." I bought some detergent.
Do you do laundry on the ship?
I do now. I'm getting into the habit of doing it more and more, self laundry, and I'll either do it in the theater or I'll do it in the crew if it's close to my cabin. So here, uh, oh, by the way, did you see this? I got,
I've never
here's
heard
what
of
he said. He volunteered that information. I didn't ask. I didn't bring it up.
comics love to volunteer when it's good stuff for them.
Well, I think he has a little guilt
Yeah.
because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, so Empire, that's so I think they're building an Empire also on Star, Empire Social. And then on the third one, the Icon 3, I'm not sure, but I'm hearing the comedy club that we're in
No
will not
longer exists.
exist. They'll do something else, which I would
So
love. I mean, I love the room. It's a great room. But if they could move us to music hall or one of those and do less shows for a bigger crowd,
I
sign me
keep
up.
hearing different rumors.
Yeah.
They're going to move it to the music hall. They're just going to do it in the theater. They're going to do less shows in the theater. It's
Yeah. Well,
I wonder
they don't really. I don't think they
compensation.
really know at this point. They want to add more cabins, and then you can take out clubs and put more cabins. But eventually, you got to have entertainment. I don't know what they're. It
They
seems
did
like
it on
everyone.
this
They
the
just want a
Freedom
floating
class.
hotel. They just want
Yeah,
more
yeah,
rooms.
yeah. The Freedom class here, they did that. They took out there was a two level what was it called? Like a Dark Ages Victorian. What is it called?
I don't know what you.
Game of Thrones dance
Oh,
club.
the nightclub.
Well,
You mean the old
yeah, like a
nightclub?
dungeon. What was it
Yeah.
called?
I forget what it was. That was. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but
I've never seen anybody in there.
well, the I remember the
Loud music
upstairs
and six
bar.
people hang. Yeah,
They had an upstairs bar that was pretty good. It would become, but then downstairs they didn't know what was
it was
going
a
on
flop.
there,
It was a
and
flop.
it was a dungeon looking, and it didn't work.
It was
Didn't work.
cheesy looking.
Yeah, they pulled. Isn't that a? They made a restaurant out of it, right? Isn't it one of the Japanese steakhouse or Izumi?
Yeah, yeah. They have various ships. They changed it. One was a Mexican restaurant, which was another mistake
Oh,
because they had free Mexican food upstairs that
right.
called fresh, and then they'd have the same food. Mexican food's the same, right? That's the
Yeah,
jokes the comedians make.
yeah.
It's just beans and rice and chicken in different shapes.
Okay.
Uh, and there's good and there's bad, but people were like, "Why am I paying a
Right.
$40 cover to have Mexican food?" So
Right, but
they're
the
not.
Mex to me the Mexican food outside at that's not great, and the burritos made and then it sits there
No, I get
outside. You know
it.
what I mean?
It's a
It's
better
okay.
quality of it
I'd rather have
in the
the
restaurant.
indoor
But
Mexican
for 40
restaurant.
bucks, you're like, why am I paying 40 bucks for Mexican food and we're on our way to Mexico?
Right? I
You
get
know.
it.
And then
I
you go to
get it.
Mexico and you pay 10 bucks and you got
Do
fresh,
you
fresh,
though?
fresh.
Do you though?
Well, you used to.
Right. It's
If
the
you knew where
same
to go,
everywhere.
you can still go and find them, but you have to go off the beaten path, get away from the tourist areas, and you'll get the. I have a couple of nice restaurants that cater to Mexican people that have a little bit of money and they'll pay the extra to have
That's
quality.
where we went to a play. I think it's called Bucanos, and it's about 20 minutes from the ship. But it's really nice, and it's like a resort kind of looking on the beach, and then inside they have the inside dining, the outside dining, and the beach, and really upper kind of classy Mexican and other type of food. It was
Is that
great.
north? Oh, or is it down towards downtown or north? Like
Toward downtown, just keep going
past it, towards the hotels.
past ponchos,
Yeah,
past
yeah,
all
totally.
that, and
Yeah.
then eventually you'll get to it. Big, huge place, huge,
Oh, okay.
but no one. It's all regular. I mean, locals and tourists who know what they're doing. But generally,
Hmm.
you wouldn't know about it. I know I've been here 100 times. I never knew it existed until Lisa and Lyndon took me over there, and it's
I think,
a
and
great
it's right
place.
on that main one road there, right?
Yeah,
Instead of
yeah,
going to the airport, you just keep going straight. And
right.
I've gone by it because last year, um, the driver, it's a van, took my luggage out and put it in front of the hotel, and someone from the hotel took my luggage inside, one of the doormen. So
Mm.
I get to my stop and I have no luggage. So we have to go back. And so I drove by that place twice.
Uh,
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I kept looking at it going, oh, that's like an independent restaurant for
Yeah.
I guess it's
It's
for
worth.
locals and also to serve some of the luxury resorts that are down that way for people that want to go drop and dime.
I don't know what a cab would be there, but it's one of those like it's worth it for the day because you can spend the whole day there and you're away from everyone. It's nice, but it would probably be a pricey cab. I don't know. I don't know what a cab would cost nowadays
Well, now it's
in
10 bucks to
Buffalo.
downtown, so it's probably more like 15 each way, 30
Probably.
bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's funny because it's sometimes it's 8 and sometimes it's 10 downtown. I never ask. I
I
stay in the
haven't gotten
car.
8 in a long time unless I go to Mega or Mega, the grocery store.
MAGA, Make America Great Again store. Is that where you
Yeah,
go?
how do you feel about Golf of America? It's different now. It feels different.
The Gulf of America?
Golf of
Yeah.
America. Yeah.
I love it. I love it, man. I'm a patriot.
I love the fact that the Canadians have to the end of the month to get their American passports. And I love the fact that we can finally go to Greenland without going through immigration and customs and get some nice ice.
And
Clean.
we could probably vacation in a few years at Gaza, which will be fun.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
the cruises
wait.
will go there.
I'm gonna wait for that. Just
Hmm.
I'm gonna wait 5 years because it's gonna be, very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. But when the ships start going there, we could do maybe do a podcast from the Gaza Strip, you know?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it, man.
Will they allow strip clubs at the Gaza Strip?
That would be the first name of the actual club, right? The
Mhm.
Gaza Strip.
Club.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, I wanted to have a question. It's not an actual question that was sent to us, but I had someone after a show. I was talking to a young man about comedy, and these kids are all into comedy. Young, what I mean, like 20-year-olds. So they listen to every pod, they know everything. And anyway, this guy goes, I thought it was an interesting question I'd bring up on the pod here. Question being, have you ever been robbed on the road? I was like, Ever been robbed? Not robbed. I don't know if you mean gunpoint. Had things stolen? Have you, you know, encountered anything on the? I had one, but I'll let you start if you have one.
Why don't you start so that it may trigger? I've had left things in a hotel and went back for it, and it's like, oh no, it's gone. They
Yeah,
threw it out. I'm like, really?
really.
They threw out my wife? Come on.
Oh, you couldn't have been happier that day. You were thrilled. Um,
Tell me yours, please.
Mine was, God, years ago. I went to Vegas and I gambled back in the day. I would play craps a lot. Anyway, I won like 600. I had 600 cash when I left Vegas. I was
Hmm.
up at that point 600. So I left Vegas and I went to Rooster Tea Feathers in
Oh.
Sunnyvale, California.
Hmm.
And they put you up in a motel, one of those gigs where you're in a motel. I might have told this story on this pod, but one of those stories where one of the gigs you're in a motel, but then when you drive to the club, you pass 11 nice hotels. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But you're on
Oh
the
yeah.
outskirts of town in
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
motel, right? So I'm at the motel. I have my winnings, my 600 cash. I threw it in my duffel bag and I threw the duffel bag under the bed and I went to lunch across the street. There was like a Wendy's or some shit. So I eat the lunch. I come back to the hotel to get ready for the show. Just about to go to the show, and I go, "Oh, let me pull $200 out of my 600." And I open the bag, and it's completely empty
Wow.
under the bed, door locked, completely empty. Now it's like half hour to the show, so I'm freaking out. I call the front desk, and they go, "What do you want us to do? What can we do? We're not responsible. Blah blah blah." I go, "How are you not respond? It's in my room. It was locked."
Yeah.
I go, "I'm calling the police," and they're like, "Okay, call the police." Like there was no concern whatsoever. So I go to
They
when I have
should
to go
have
to the
shown
gig.
concern regardless.
Of course, they.
Oh, so well, yeah, because they were probably all splitting it.
So I go to the gig,
How did they know
and
that you had it in there, though? That's the thing. Did someone tip them off?
well, I go to the gig, and the cops come. I tell them, I go, I'm going to be at Rooster T. Feathers. So while the MC's on, the cops are there, and I'm outside. I have to go outside. The manager's like, "Oh, these police want to talk to you."
Hmm.
So I'm outside on the sidewalk while the MC's on, and I'm telling them what happened. And as I'm telling them, I can see they're like,
Hmm.
they know.
Hmm.
And I go, "You've seen this before?" Like, what? And they go, "Yeah." They go, "Best guess, housekeeping is working with a guy, boyfriend, husband, guy." And they just
At
call. They go, "He
at
just
the
left
casino.
301. He just
Yeah.
left 301." The guy at that point comes to the motel. She gives him the key. He opens 301, ransacks it, gets the fuck out of there. Then she is still working. Oh, 303 is open. Do that. So he goes, "That's generally what goes on." So I go, "Well, what do I do?" He's like, we're going to file a report. We'll get the housekeeper's name, the
Hmm.
names, and we'll go through it. And I go, "And nothing will happen." And he's like, "We can't tell you that, but basically, yes."
They hope that they get in trouble and then their name comes up a string, and then the judge will go, "Well, they can't prove that you've done all these things, but you got
Yeah.
caught
But there is
red-handed
no
here."
proof. There's
No.
no proof of it. There's no proof I had the
Well, they don't
money.
have, they didn't have the security cameras like they have
No,
now and
no,
all that. So, but
no,
the other thing is, question, was this just within the hotel, or did someone see you win 600 bucks, knew you were the comedian?
no.
No. So it was
Because I
just
won the
within the
money.
hotel.
I won the money in Vegas. This is Sunnyvale.
Right.
So they just do it. The cops' theory was the housekeeper just tells them
Hmm.
301 is now empty.
Right.
And he goes in, and sometimes
Yeah.
you find $600, sometimes you
Oh,
find
yeah.
50 cents, I
That was
guess.
a big score. Yeah.
That was a nice one for them. Yeah. Yeah. And it was just, I might have been gone an hour, you know,
Oh, well, they go right
just
away.
just went to lunch. So the minute I went, and it was a motel. So
Yeah.
once I went down those stairs, that dude was pulling in. He was probably in
Yeah.
my room before I was at
They
Wendy's.
wait for you just to get off property where you might not
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I forgot something." Because if
Right.
you're in the lobby, you might go, "Oh," and go back. So they wait. They're pros. They know
Yeah.
the timing,
And
and
they
they
can
go
get
right
in and
in.
get out in 10
And
minutes.
they're so
And
good, they can make it look like nothing's disturbed.
couldn't, she opened the door, and then they just ransacked. He went, looked around, he unzipped it, took everything out of the bag, zipped it back, put it under the bed. It was probably in my room 5 minutes.
How do you feel about safes in a hotel or a motel? The safes.
I good. But in a motel,
Because
the
they
one
say
back,
they can just come in and they have a master card
right?
that will open it up.
That's true. That's true. And
I
and
do
in
use the one in my
19,
cabin though. I use the one in my cabin.
but in 1995, in a
No,
motel in
yeah,
Sunnyvale,
yeah,
there was no safe.
no. I
There was
have,
nothing.
I do have little tricks. I don't know if I
Oh,
should
little tricks.
about
Little tricks.
hiding valuables when I'm in a regular hotel these
Yeah.
days.
How many
Yeah.
valuables do you have on you on the road?
Well, if I have 600 bucks on me cash, so I
Well,
have
that would
little.
go in a safe now. Yeah. Yeah. But
Well,
I
I
generally
also
don't have,
I
I
have
generally, I generally don't, what the fuck? Yeah.
had a
I'm
glitch.
getting, I got a call. I generally don't travel with any cash anymore. Hardly ever.
Right.
And, you know, so I don't have a lot of
I
use for the
I hardly
safe.
too, but occasionally when I do, for whatever purpose or reason, sometimes I'll use the safe. Sometimes I won't use the safe, but I'll lock the safe. And then I'll put
Mhm.
my bags a little bit in disarray. And then I have little hiding places that I won't mention on air. And that just makes me, they have to really make an effort. So even a
Right.
pro would be like, this is too much work.
Yeah. And nowadays there would be a camera and they'd show him walking in the room,
Yep.
busted. But at the time,
I'm
no,
talking about
nothing.
when you're
And
having your room, if you're staying at a hotel for more than a day and you have housekeeping or something. Yeah, out of
so I
sight,
had,
out of mind.
yeah. And I had a copy of the police report. And then I went to the front desk and I was showing them. And it was, again, it was just Okay, what do you want us to
But you
do?
have
I mean,
you have to do it though. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And I spend the next 3 days there, which I was so pissed.
Yeah, no,
I,
and every time you go in that room, you're like grinding your teeth.
yeah, I'm like, what? And I'm only, I mean,
$600
headlining,
was a lot of money back then,
yeah, like, well, headlining Rooster Feathers in 1995
or
probably didn't
900.
pay. Right. I mean, it didn't pay a lot. So my 600 was that was great. And then you go, well, nope, nope. So that was probably the only time I would say I was robbed on the road. I don't know. Nothing for you. You have too many little
No, so
tricks and hiding
it was.
places.
I left something behind, and I went back to retrieve it within a reasonable amount of time. And they're like, "No, sir, sorry, can't find it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't
Well,
find it?"
that's like, with Kelly was on the cruise and she left her sunglasses on the table and then
Yeah,
someone took them and they didn't want to really look. They didn't, I mean, because you can find them. There's cameras. We could just track the person lifting it and walk to their room,
yeah.
but they didn't want to go down that route
Well,
for
also there's the
sunglasses.
paying customer, and they don't want people to say, "Oh, they caught this person." But usually,
Right.
I will say this. Usually, 9 out of 10 times, cruise ships, something left behind, one of the workers will grab it, hand it to
Yeah.
somebody, it
Oh
goes
yeah.
right to lost and found. By the
Yeah.
time the people come down, go, "Hey, I left them upstairs about a half hour ago. What color are they, sir?"
Yeah.
Okay, here are these them? There you
Oh,
go.
generally very good, but this one they didn't really. We did the
No,
thing
because
with it.
because the passenger stole it. That's why.
Right.
The
Right.
thing
But what
is,
if it was
you got to go
what if it
back.
was an engagement ring? What if it was they would have found it? If she had taken a ring off an engagement ring and left it on the table and they would have found it. I think just sunglasses were like, and even though they were like a couple $100, but they were
Because they
like,
do have to spend, they got to put a couple of people in front of the monitors, hit
yeah,
rewind,
it's work. We'll work.
timestamp, and it will take them away from, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
something.
But there was just no effort on that one. But I just, I was telling them at that time, I go, what if this was like something very valuable? You would find it. Sunglasses, they just didn't care. But,
Because it happens so often. But go back to Lost and Found a couple hours later or the next day, and
yeah,
it might turn up. One couple
right.
of
You
reasons you
did.
get a drunk person going, "Oh, I was going to take this Lost and Found. I was hammered and I forgot," and
Yeah.
then they bring it back.
I
There's
had my,
all.
I had my Yeti coffee, and I put it down. I was on, what was ship was I on? It was like Liberty, I think. Anyway, I was out on that deck 5 having a cigar. That
Mm-hmm.
the main, it's great. No one's around and it's
Mm-hmm.
very nice. But anyway, I put the Yeti down on the ground and then I finished my cigar, got up and split. Then I'm back in the room like, hey, where's the Yeti? Ah, shit. So I go down to 5. Of course, it's gone. And then I went to guest services. Boom. There it was. They had
Yep.
it.
That's usually
So
what
that
happens.
one,
But you got to be careful with the those badges. I mean, Yeti, that's sought after. Stanley and Yeti. If there
yeah.
was a no name on it, you didn't really have to worry about it.
What is the one now? It's huge and they're all with drinking
Oh, my
water all
cock,
day. What's that?
my cock.
That was it. That was it. Yes. That huge
Wait,
thing that
explain.
um no, what was that? What's that? Women basically carry on these massive water jugs and
Usually a Stanley.
Stanley. I thought there was a different name, but that could
Oh,
be it.
Yeti
I
and
don't know.
Stanley are the two top, but maybe there's another one I don't know about. I have another one. It's it was like $25. I'm not spending 50.
Right.
And I didn't even bring it on this one because you'd be proud of me. No check luggage.
Oh, wow.
I
What?
did my little wheelie and my little carry-on, and I know you don't know bags, but I got my Nomad Lane. It's
Huh?
around here somewhere. Oh, it's right
Well,
here. I'm using it to prop up the computer. And then I have my little Travel Pro, and it's like butter wheeling it around. Now,
like
what
butter.
would you do? Like butter, mate. What would you do in this situation?
Hit me.
I had to extend my trip, so I had to do laundry.
Right.
and I made a couple of purchases without realizing. I bought Tide pods,
Mm,
16 of them in a bag. Can't
okay.
do the carry-on, right?
Right. Well, I don't know. Wait, pods you can't carry on?
Yeah, because if they exceed more than a quart, there's 16 of them. I used
Oh,
one.
oh,
So now I have 15. Should I pack 6 of them and like give them to a crew member or somebody?
yeah,
And also,
yeah. That'd be
I
some.
bought a second bottle of wine, by the way.
Uh-huh.
I was going to stick it in my luggage
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm going to get to it. Do I drink half of it, or do I give it to a crew member, or do I go ahead and check my?
It depends. I mean, do you want that wine? If you want the wine, check your bag. If it's not that important, then fuck it. You know
Three
what I mean?
sneezes, not one God bless you.
I didn't know what you did. I didn't know what. I didn't even notice. I wasn't paying
Oh,
attention.
the mic's cut it out.
Yeah, I didn't hear a
My
thing.
mic, my mic cut it out.
I just saw this.
I didn't. Yeah, I was blowing myself.
Hey now, whoa,
I didn't take my allergy
Patreon.
pill.
Uh,
I don't take my
take
allergy pill when we're at sea, but sometimes there's so much dust.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Take your pills, Alfred.
I have pills.
Take your pills. You should get one of those little plastic things with
I have a
Monday,
pill
Tuesday.
box. I
Of
have
course
one.
you do. Of course
It's
you
a
do.
2-weeker. And because I buy supplements and vitamins in the big jars, like at
Yeah.
Costco to get the discount,
You know what
you're
those
paying
do
full
for you? You
price.
know what those
Nothing.
do for you?
Delete your bank account.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah. Well,
I had my
what?
physical 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and
You're
I
wasting
don't
your
take
money.
I don't take any vitamins. I'm talking to my doctor, and I go, "Should I be taking
Supplements.
vitamins or supplements?" And he's like, "No." I go, "I shouldn't be taking." He goes, "If you want." He goes, "Who knows what they?" He goes, He goes, "I'm not going to tell you to take them." He goes, "If you want to, you can." He goes, I go, "Do you take anything?" He's like, our age kind of guy, and he goes, "I take a one a day." He goes, "That's it."
Multi.
Yeah,
Here's what my
yeah,
doctor said. By the way,
yeah,
flaxseed capsules
yeah.
changed my life. And
I
I've been taking these for 25 years.
They made you gayer.
It made me gayer.
All right.
So
That,
now I can handle 2 dudes at once.
finally,
Wait
finally,
up!
some truth in
Wait,
this
wait.
podcast. It's finally coming out here. Alfred's exposing and telling us the truth.
My sister, who's been on our podcast, one of our most
That's right.
downloaded episodes,
Yeah.
she was a little constipated a good chunk of her life, and then
I'm,
I told her
all
about
right,
flaxseed.
Barb.
I
Uh-huh.
told her about flaxseed, and she goes, "Oh, I'm going to try it." And then she calls
Yeah.
me up a week later. She goes, "Oh my God! Every morning, like
Oh,
clockwork."
damn.
Because she was, sometimes she go like 3 days, and she was like
Mm.
headaches and not feeling well, and hangry, and yeah. So right here, flaxseed oil. Get a good
Okay.
one. Get a good one.
Yeah.
Vitamin Shop makes a pretty good one.
I don't take those in pill form, but we have it in powder, kind of,
Mm.
whatever, the flax seeds. And Kelly's always throwing all
Kelly's
that
on
in
top
the
of that. Yeah,
smoothies and all that. And
yeah.
chai seed, flax seed.
If you're lacking, they say get your vitamins from foods.
Right.
And if you're lacking, why not take the multivitamin in case you're not getting enough of one? Iron, it will kind of even it out. That's my theory. But my doctor's like, if you want to waste your money, go ahead. The only one he agreed with was the flaxseed oil.
Right. So the doctors, mine and yours, are basically saying, don't do it. It's a waste of
You're
money.
wasting your money because they say your body doesn't absorb enough of it, and you can get
Yeah.
that from your everyday foods.
Well, I used
And
to hear that too. You end up just pissing it out. That's really all
that's
the
why
vitamins.
they'll say this one is high absorption, and you pay
Yeah.
twice as much for it.
Right.
And they say your body will absorb more of it, up to 70% versus
Who's
5%.
they? Who's they when they say
All the people,
they?
the marketing people.
They, yeah, them, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Probably can't hurt you, right? I mean, a supplement or vitamin,
Well, my
it's not going
doctor
to hurt.
said he said that Like Bernadette likes to take a small. I got her to take a small dose of vitamin E.
Well,
Hey
she's
now.
been with you forever, so yeah.
And he said, no, don't take that. You get enough of that from your food, and it's actually toxic. My doctor says it's
Oh,
toxic. Too much of it.
uh, it's too confusing. Everything, you know, what I mean, what's good, what's bad, it just, you just got to eat, like a human being, small amount, walk around a little bit,
By the way,
and
your buddy Al
give a
lost
shit.
11 pounds in one
Wow.
year, and 7 of it was in the last 6 weeks. Look at this. Come on.
Wow. What have you been doing?
No sugar,
All
uh,
right.
virtually no carbs, no unbleached white flour bullshit.
You know
Uh,
what's, I was reading something similar to that where it said if you go to McDonald's, if you eat the burger, which is shit, that's better than that bun has more different
yeah, that's diabetes.
ingredients. It has more ingredients in a bun than it does the meat. So the bun itself is really right. Take that first bite, you're already fucked up, and now you eat the
Mhm.
shitty meat. But you wouldn't think what could they do wrong to a bun, and they've managed to do it.
Preservatives and all that other
Yeah,
stuff, and the
yeah,
flavors that trick your
yeah.
mind that it's delicious
It
and it's
is good
addicting.
though. It's pretty good.
Hey, French fries are delicious,
They're
but they're
good.
fried and it's potato, and that will spike your blood sugar level. So
I know, but they're
it's
pretty.
all artificial.
I try to stay away from them. But Tuesday when I was in Cozumel, I got a breakfast burrito, and it came with fries and like beans, and the fries were fantastic. I mean,
The thing is
French
not to have a
fries.
big bowl of them, just to have a
Yeah,
few. Same
you
thing
gotta
with
have a few.
pasta. I love pasta, but we as Americans have a huge portion, whereas in
Right,
Italy, it's a small portion. It's just a
right.
not a.
Yeah,
It's common sense, but now we used to be 50% obese. The U.S. was 50% obese. Do you know we're closer to 70% now? Obesity.
mm.
It's in
Do
our
I
it's in our
believe it,
food.
dude? I
It's in our
work on
food.
cruise ships. I believe it. Yes,
It's 80% on cruise
it's.
ships.
I'd say higher. It's
Yeah,
unbelievable. It
85.
really is.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even joking around or
No,
trying to body shame or whatever. I'm just saying
no, just it's
the
in our food.
the obesity, whether it's epidemic or
Yeah,
problem,
yeah.
it's
That's
crazy.
why we have so many health problems, all tied in with pharmaceuticals. All these conspiracy theorists now, half of their shit is true, turned out to be true.
Everything's coming out to be true. I know. It's people are saying Alex Jones is not like a nut. He was ahead of the curve on a lot of stuff, and it's amazing when you go like someone like that, like this guy's a
Well, he was
wild.
so extreme
He's
on
so out
every
there,
aspect
and then they
that,
go,
yeah,
a lot of it was
some
right.
some of it he's going to hit. Some of
Yeah.
it's going to hit but the saying that the school shootings were
Well,
actors
that's
and all of
stupid.
that's what
Well,
really got him. That
yeah, and that negates the rest of your stuff
yeah.
because once you're saying that, I
Mhm.
can't listen to you really anymore.
Mhm.
Not that I really did, but
Mhm.
you know, but some
That's
things he
he
had
was
right.
wasn't he sued for 50 billion or 150 billion or something crazy?
Well, it was a massive number. They said they took InfoWars. They were able to take, but he's still online. He's
He's still
still
making money.
relevant.
He still has yeah.
He's on Rogan. I
He
mean,
also
he's
they also say that he cryptocurrency and some offshore accounts that they just can't
oh,
touch. So because he
you
was
have crypto.
anticipating it.
When's the
I have a
crypto? When's it going to explode?
explode in what
I see
direction?
it.
Collapse
It's
or
going.
explode?
It's going the wrong way. I have a little bit, and it just
Yeah, it's cyclical. It's every 3 or 4 years. It goes. But I have a little bit. I
yeah,
I think I put less than 5,000 in. I don't have anything direct.
yeah.
I have like ETF funds that follow it. The best way to do it is if you're going to just take a little extra money that
Mm,
if you lose it, you won't give a shit about,
yeah.
and own it direct. I don't. I have it through PayPal. I have it through. It's actually a part of my retirement funds. I put in like 5 grand. 5 grand. It nearly doubled. I sold
Should have
most of
taken it.
it.
Oh, good.
I sold most of it, and
Yeah.
then I bought a little bit and now I'm just letting it. I got a little tiny. I got like 2,500 in one of my retirement funds. If it goes to $1 billion, then I'll be a multimillionaire. If it collapses, I'm not going to lose sleep.
If it goes to 1 billion, you'll be a multimillionaire.
Yeah, at
Okay.
99 years old.
All right. I wish you the best with that.
Hey, there are people
Uh,
that bought in at the beginning and held on to it, and they're multimillionaires.
yeah,
There's the
I've
twin
heard those
brothers that
stories.
sued Zuckerberg over Facebook.
I've heard those stories, but from what my little experience with it, all I see is
Yeah,
going down.
could go to zero.
Probably will.
But don't put
What are you
half
gonna
your
do?
life savings into it. That's gambling.
That was $50. That was half my life savings, and it's not going well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kelly. He's a lot. That's why he drinks for free. He can't afford it.
uh, anything else? Anything else happening? You didn't answer the question. You've never been robbed?
I had a couple of attempted robberies, but like in Manhattan, walking down the street, some guy said, "Hey, there's no one around. Give me $10."
Oh, no, no. I
And
meant more on the
I went,
road.
I went, and I walked away and said, "Please don't shoot me." Um, just some things left behind, but I haven't had a real,
Okay.
robbery.
That's good.
Yeah.
I guess for the amount of time and hotels I've been in, one time is not bad when you really
No,
think about it, you know.
no, we
But that was
travel so
the
much.
ironic part was it was one of the few times I had more than a couple $100 on me.
Right.
I would never have that much cash on me on the road,
How
but it
come,
just
how
happened
come
to.
you weren't robbed when you had, $50 on you?
There you go.
And
Exactly.
you left it on the
Maybe I
desk.
was. Maybe they've been in the room and never found anything and left. You never know. It could have been
Not
attempted.
not now with all the cameras.
Not now. No, and I don't stay in no more motels, son. I'm out. I'm done. It's one of
Oh
my
yeah.
it's one of my pet like I can't that whole thing with the motel. I hate everything about it from
It's
all the
funny you should just
years.
mention that. Bernie and I are working at Stir Crazies in just outside of Phoenix in Glendale, Arizona. So after we do the weekend there, we're going to go up to the Grand Canyon. So we're going to be spending 4 nights in various parts. We're going to go to Sedonia, and we're going to go up to Williams, which is an hour south of the Grand Canyon. And there's a couple of motels that are, you have these beautiful vistas and they have high ratings and all that. And I'm like, but it's a motel.
Yes.
But they're on the nicer side because, and they're always many of them are sold out
Uh-huh.
and they have great reviews. But I'm like, it's a motel. Do I want to do that for one night for the view? I don't know. I don't know.
Air conditioner under the window next to the bed that goes on. It's cars in the parking lot.
It's the cars in the parking lot is the issue. When someone pulls up to your window, even though you have the curtains closed, it illuminates it, and then
Yeah.
or you
I
come in, someone's parked in front of your door. You know what I mean?
I
It's
just
like,
have a thing about it. I think from all the years of being on the road with comedy, and they always get if it wasn't a comedy condo until you like start headlining anyway. It was a comedy condo or a motel, and
yeah,
I think just the idea of it now makes me feel like a fucking loser. So if I open that door, I'd be like, because I know that room
has a certain
exactly.
smell.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Has the smell.
There are
Yep.
nicer ones. There are nicer ones. It's just
There
like,
are
but
nicer
it's a
ones,
crapshoot.
but you gotta have a lobby. Just give me a lobby.
Give me
You
a
know,
lobby.
give me a lobby. That's all I need.
I
That's all I
like the
need.
hall. I
This
like the
remote
hallway.
control.
Walking down a hallway
Give me a
versus
hallway
I don't
and the
like opening the
lobby.
door and I hear someone's engine. Blah 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 blah. It's just.
No, you shouldn't have to walk outside to get to the front desk. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And there's always a vending machine in that archway. It's just the whole
Clunk
thing I
clump,
hate.
clump clump. Yeah.
Ugh, not a
Uh,
fan. Not a fan. But so you're gonna stay in a motel or you haven't decided?
well, we're staying in one place is their cabins,
Hmm.
standalone. So you have You got 50 feet between the next cabin, so I think
Right.
there's like 15 of them on the property with the beautiful views. We're doing that.
Okay.
It's kind of like
Right.
a little better than glamping.
Well, you
And
like
then
that though, right?
and
Don't you
yeah,
guys like
yeah, we like having the
camping and shit?
windows looking at the nature and whatnot. We've done the glamping, yes. We've done like the safari tent on the platform with the queen size bed,
Yeah.
with with blankets and kind of posh. Yes, we like that one. We're going to be in Sedonia, and we're staying in an old like railroad inn. So it was like a railroad depot at one time, but now it's been
Uh,
converted into a fancy place. So
nice. When is that? When's the gig?
that's March, end of March
Oh,
into April. So
okay.
we're at the shoulder season where it goes from off peak going into peak, and we're right in between. So no long lines or anything at the Grand Canyon and whatnot. We're not doing donkey rides down in the bottom
No.
and all that. No.
Donkey shows,
We're
maybe
gonna
in
do
the
some. We're
evening.
gonna do some rim hiking,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna go crazy because when you go down,
Yeah.
13-mile trails, and you go down to the bottom, people can't make it back, and they don't anticipate it.
Nah.
So we'll go like a third of the way down and all that.
Yeah.
Turn around back.
Yeah. That sounds cool. You have anything? When do you go home? You're home. You're out of there. Today is Friday.
I'm gonna go home for 48 hours. I'm gonna go home Super Bowl Sunday.
Right.
Hopefully, I can watch the game on the plane, and then
Yeah.
I fly to
What airline?
Belize.
What
I'm
airline?
flying out on United and flying to Belize on American. Actually,
Do you
Alaskan. I
do
requested
you
a direct flight to Belize
hmm,
months ago, and they gave it
hmm.
to me.
You have to overnight in Belize?
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
That I remember a Radisson and like it.
I'm staying one of the better ones.
Oh, well, you work the big rooms, so
I work the big rooms.
they take care of you.
That Radisson's not bad. If the one I'm thinking of, it was like had restaurants, and that was
I
not
just
bad.
I remember the food not being very good, and then I couldn't get Wi-Fi in my room, so I had to sit in that lobby.
That was a long time ago.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I haven't done those shitty
Food's
goods in
better.
years.
Security's pretty good, and you don't have to go anywhere. And then the driver picks you up and takes you right to the ship. I don't like
Yeah.
that port. It's a tender port. The ship is anchored a mile away, and it's just, ugh.
2025, we should not be tendering anymore.
I just did it. I did it again to get on here.
That's what you get for working the big rooms. I work the small rooms, never see a tender in years. I don't know.
Hey, I can't take my act and condense it to 15 minutes. It's an hour.
Well, you could. You could. The crowds, they'd be very appreciative if you would.
And that's our podcast.
Peace.
Arrivederci.
So long, Al. Have a good trip.
Iceberg, dead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
A feeding frenzy quickly develops.
I'm losing my mind.
This is the 2 Owls, 1 Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Okay, sure.
Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Patreon.com/2 Owls 1 Pod.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.